Welcome back. And here are my closing statements. Last episode, we examined the Democratic Index, developed by the Economist Intelligence Unit, a UK-based organization which used a set of 60 questions to measure the democratic bona fides of about 167 countries. The index categorized each country into one of four government types. The countries are ranked in any of these categories based on their compound scores from 1 to 10, which is the highest, based on certain metrics. Now, the first category of the countries is full democracies, and these are the ideal democratic societies. The second set of categories are flawed democracies. These are nations where their democracy, though challenged, but nonetheless have elements of the ideal situation. Examples include the United States. The third are hybrid regimes. These are nations that pretend to be democracies, but are evidently not, with regular electoral frauds, anemic rule of law, compromised judiciary, repressed media, widespread corruption among government agencies, etc. The fourth are authoritarian countries. These are countries with zero democracy, zero civil liberties, weak judiciary. Globally, Nigeria is ranked 105 out of 167 countries in the overall ranking in 2022. Also, it should come as no surprise that in the entire African continent, only Mauritius is ranked as a full democracy. Specifically, in sub-Saharan Africa, of the 44 countries, 23 are authoritarian, 14 are hybrid regimes, 6 are flawed democracy, and only one, like I mentioned earlier, Mauritius, is a full democracy. Why then are you surprised that the continent of Africa is as it is? Consider Sudan right now. Currently, Nigeria pretends to be a democracy from the above democratic index. However, it is obvious we are merely engaged in a grand and an extremely expensive corporate delusion. Nigeria does not practice democracy and is not a democratic society. In the just concluded general elections, about 90 persons were killed and several hundreds injured. Do people have to die in the exercise of their democratic franchise? Now, how about the colossal sum spent by the INEC, political parties, and the candidates? At least 1 trillion or well over 2.2 billion US dollars, by the respective political parties from their primaries to the general elections. What are the positive outcomes for the country from this sum of money? Indeed, since the return to civilian rule in 1999, while the ruling elites have become stupendously richer, the nation, however, has inversely retrogressed astronomically. And for the many crimes perpetrated by the ruling elites, there's no sanction or accountability because the critical element of democratic governance, which is checks and balances, is manifestly absent. What then is the way forward? How do we put Nigeria on the path of genuine democratic governance that delivers accountable good governance for all? The answer is simple. We need public institutions that are independent and strong and manned only by patriots. Now, how do we get this? As a first step, there is an urgent need to amend the 1999 Constitution to ensure the appointment of the INEC chair, national commissioners, and resident electoral commissioners by the president is not done by the president anymore, but by the NJC, that's the National Judicial Council, and approved by the National Assembly. Ditto the police IG and the heads of the EFCC and ICPC. This way, we shall guarantee that these critical institutions of state are truly independent to carry out their duties free from any political pressure or manipulation. And why is this critical? Presently, the Nigerian president is more or less a mini-god and is totally unaccountable to no institution whatsoever. The occupier of the office wields near absolute powers over every public institution, including, sadly, the other two arms of government, that is the judiciary and legislature. And the president is the largest dispenser of material favors to himself, his families, cronies, and friends. Consequently, I submit with every sense of responsibility and patriotism, there can never be genuine democracy, least of all tangible and sustainable progress or development of any sort in this country for as long as this ridiculous state of affairs continues, and time is running out. Now, remember, change requires action, and positive change requires positive action. I believe in a new Nigeria, and it is possible. And those are my closing thoughts. That's the program today. Remember to follow me on my different social media handles. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can watch these particular videos and the others there at your convenience. Drop your comments also. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.